A Way of Life. Just wanted to come on here to do some updates. I'm working on getting on the radio now. I wanted to talk a little bit about that. It just, as I was going through the process of everything, it just kind of reminded me of some things that I thought might be helpful to people out there starting their own business. So I'm currently working with Ron Fitz. He's kind of like the middle person to get you on the radio show. Um, he's a good person. He has his own little flower business that he does. I hope you guys can see that. He sells flowers. And the young lady who did this card for him, he's connecting me with her. She does marketing, like online web design and stuff like that. And um, he has a whole bunch of other people that he's connected to that he's gotten on the radio, and he gave me a whole bunch of flyers of other businesses in the community to connect with, which I'm excited about. Um, he's a little old fashioned, he's a little older, so he didn't want to come on here. Had to do a live to talk about it. But so a few things that he offers, and you can go to 98.1 FM, the radio station, to kind of see their website and everything. But you can either get your flyer on the radio station, or he'll pass out your flyers for you for 10 cents a flyer. He'll pick them up. He'll do all the heavy lifting. Obviously, you have to pay for it, but he charges 10 cents a flyer. And he's always out and about in the public. He does a lot of the footwork, the networking, the meeting the people and just knowing the neighborhood. So he's really, really good at doing that. And I think that's awesome, because then he's able to give like what he had did for me. So I'm getting to meet a lot of the people in my community to connect and network with them, and hopefully there'll be more about that. But the one thing that came up, well, let me finish saying. So you can either get your flyer on there, or he'll pass out flyers for you. And then I think it's like $30 a second, $30 a day for 2 videos. So that's what, $60 for 2 commercials. So you got to type up like a little saying of something of your commercial, and the radio people will, talk about your company twice a day, either in the morning and in the afternoon, or whenever it is that you choose to do it. And you can do that for a month. They typically want you to sign on to do it for 3 months at a time, not monthly. But it's $2,500 to do it, and obviously not everybody has that kind of money. Now they do work with bigger companies, obviously, who have that kind of money, but they have prices where they're willing to work with small businesses who might not have that kind of income, which I thought was really nice. But as me and him met and we sat down and kind of chatted, because he's really old school. Like, I had to get cash to pay for this. I thought it was funny. But when we sat down and spoke, some of the things that had come up was that he really admired my being able to work from home and what I'm doing, working on content and, continuously promoting that way. And he's like, yeah, that's really hard. It's hard for him to sit down in one place to work. I think that's something that's going to come up a lot. So I'm bringing this up because I think it's super important to be in these networks of people to see who is doing what. You never know who you're going to meet and who's willing to do what for you. Like, I'm partnering with CWI because I realized, out of all the work that I do and all the work that I'm signing up for, I'm not going to be able to do by myself. It's just not realistic. Um, for anybody. It doesn't matter what kind of business you want. If you're trying to reach a certain median and bring in a certain amount of income on a yearly basis, unfortunately, that means you're going to have to depend on somebody, work with somebody somewhere to help you with the services that you might be interested in offering. That was a realization that I had in this process of setting up my website. I'm like, oh my God, like that's a lot, right? And I think the overwhelming part of starting a business is that you always want to focus on the part that you're good at, the parts that you signed up for, not the entire process. So, you really, the coaching is worth getting. It's worth sitting down with the coach to sit down and say, hey, where are these resources? What other ways can I connect and communicate with other people to see what they're doing? You want to be in these circles and networks of people so that you can, meet somebody who can possibly help you do something. And yeah, you're going to have to pay for it. But I think the beautiful part about having your own business and having it set up as a legal entity is that you get the taxes back. And that's how I've been kind of training my mind to think about all this. Yes, I'm paying a lot out, and it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and make it seem like it's easy, but you are going to have to sacrifice somewhere, and you have to pick and choose, how you want that to look. So that's the reason why I keep saying you've got to have a budget for all of these things that you want, and to try to expand your mind and not, constrict it into thinking that, it's just another bill or it's just another process or, in that mindset. Instead, think of it like I'm getting that money back at the end of the year. And even that's hard, it's going to take some time. I understand that it's not easy, but I still thought it was super important to come on here and mention that. Also, if you're thinking about putting your show, your marketing for your business or promoting your business on television, radio is just probably a little bit cheaper. So that's, and him passing out the flyers is obviously a lot cheaper than, anything else. Obviously, you could do your own stuff, and that's obviously cheaper, but just some other ways I thought, to put out there for people to think about. What else? And I kind of already see other people doing this, but the same way that I'm interested in meeting with the network of people he's introducing me to, I already see people having unboxings. Like if you get a service from somebody, you talk about their service, you give back, right? You support them in any way that you can. So the unboxings are really dope. I like seeing the young ladies out there doing that. I've had a few people come on my show to talk about what they do, like Tambrisha, Taylor, and me and Brian have been doing a whole bunch of stuff. So, that's just another way that we have to think outside the box to continue supporting each other and continue, getting our business out there, especially with all this social distancing now. We're going to have to start getting super creative on that. So it's really nice to see people already doing that. Also, something that I was talking about in my career and business webinar that I did, I'm still promoting that, so I'm only giving out bits and pieces right now, but one of the Saturn and Aquarius transits that's coming up at the end of the year is really going to put some restrictions on alternative fields like astrology. Aquarius rules astrology. Um, um, like health, things that are like natural healing, definitely the esoteric and metaphysic fields. People who do like podcasts talking about truths, like what happened with Nick Cannon. A lot of this is going to start to grow bigger, come this time around next year. So some platforms, I just want to mention a few platforms to put out there for people to start thinking about, to really start supporting and get connected with, because you just you just don't know. And a lot of these social media platforms are getting ready to merge with the government. Some of them already have. I hear a lot of people already talking about how they're posting things and they're getting cut off. I think something's going on with Facebook and Zoom, because every time I post one of my the career and business video that I did, um, every time I post it on Instagram, it doesn't go to Facebook anymore. So I think something's going on with Zoom and Facebook, and it could be made up. I'm not trying to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything. However, I am aware that it is coming up. So I've already been kind of doing my research, and as I continue learning these different platforms, I'm going to keep naming them and giving that information out for people to just, have to be aware of. So CWI, obviously, that's Brian, who I was just talking about, that I've done a lot of videos with. So it's at CWI Money. You definitely want to share anything that he's doing and support him in any way that you can. And Forbidden Knowledge. Now, Forbidden Knowledge is a conscious platform. I really like what he's doing. Not only is he giving out truth and facts, he already has a page that's like Facebook. He has some business opportunities on there. I'm not quite sure how you have to go about getting on there. And he does a lot of giveaways. So I think I heard him say vacations, a car in January, TVs, like flat screen. I think he said the Apple TVs, to be specific, like touchscreen TVs. He's giving those out, and the monitors, like the computer monitors. He's giving those out. You can subscribe to him on YouTube as well to see his video where he's talking about that. Did I say vacations? He's doing a lot. That's the bottom line. Oh, and I think money too. He's giving out money too. Like he just ran a promo for grants for small businesses, and I think they're different. They change every time. But and then he has the colloidal silver. I think he said gold now too. I don't think he was doing gold before. He just started doing that. But I get my silver from him. And I don't know. That's all I can think of at this time. But I know he does a lot. And he's working on making a YouTube, not YouTube, but like YouTube. So for all the business people who are trying to network with and collaborate with, people of like mind, to get your business known out there, and just friends in general. Like, it doesn't just have to be about business. I think that's going to be dope and something to keep an eye out for. So you can do that. It's actually the number 4, Bidden Knowledge. And then Revolt with P Diddy. He's alright. He ain't really fully black though. No. No, people keep complaining that Diddy keeps cutting them out of money, so I don't know if he'll get much, but it's still a platform where you could go. I'm thinking Nick Cannon might want to connect with him. It's a platform where you can go to speak freely. T.I. is doing a little blog thing, which I think is absolutely hilarious, by the way. But he's been having some good people on there. I'm proud of him. And then Boyce Walkins, where I go for all my to keep up with the market. I don't know why my brain just went blank. But I like Boyce Walkins for the financial piece. He talks about the stock market. Jesus. But the reason why I like Boyce Walkins is because he comes from a black perspective, and he speaks in language that you can understand easily. And not only that, he gives you examples that you can relate to, which I think completely changes the dynamics of education. We don't see a lot of that, and we need more of that. And I think it's helpful. I think it'll boost your confidence when you think about the stock market. So those are the people that I had. Even in having this conversation, just my last little tidbit here. Um, as I'm thinking about all of this, the one thing that came up in my mind was how we may feel that being in the same business as somebody, that there's some kind of competition. I really strongly feel this Aquarius age is really going to eliminate that ideology. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and it rules the 11th house, which rules groups of people, groups of like-minded people, and your soul tribe. And when I think about this on a bigger scale, we are really being forced to come together and work together. We still got a lot of work to do. There are some people out there who are really struggling to unlearn and relearn. But as we go along into the actual age of Aquarius, which is 2025, but I still feel like we're here, like we're at the threshold. That's what I'm gonna keep calling it, because it's this letting go process, right? This unlearning process. And I really feel like, as we go through this process, we are going to come together. We are going to get stronger as a society, as a people. And we have to understand that there really is no such thing as competition. And that's just one of the ways to get there. And so, I really wanted to share that when I do the astrology, I can't tell you how many times I do a person's chart and I'm amazed at how different they are. Even with somebody who has the same placements as you, their planets still match up differently enough to make you uniquely who you are. You cannot duplicate that. It's not duplicatable. You can't do it. I just made up a word. You cannot do it. Even when you have twins, you can see this process happening where even they are very different. They're the same, but they're very different. They have their own mission to fulfill in this lifetime, and nobody is excluded from that. This is everybody is different. So even if you do have the same business as somebody, your vibration is going to bring the people to you for your vibration. So I think my message here is to stay focused on your brand, marketing and branding for you, for who you are as a unique individual. And the people who are meant to come to you for business are going to come for you for business. All right. And I hope that information was helpful. And yeah, peace.